AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Marcellus Wiley broke down Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless's breakup after Shannon Sharpe commented on it. It was with Cam Newton's show. And so interesting facts, because he was in the industry, and not just in the industry, he worked for ESPN and he worked at Fox. So he had some things to say.
In 2022, let's hear what they had to say. Deuces.
The situation with Skip, right? Was the frustration with Skip, or was the frustration with the network or the executives?
Oh, good question.
I think for me, I really appreciate Skip believing in me and bringing me there. Even when the network wanted him to hire a journalist, because I was really the first athlete to sit down and sit across from a journalist and debate topics.
Right.
People know that you can talk about football because obviously you played the game. Can you talk about basketball?
Right.
Can you talk about golf? Can you talk about baseball? Can you talk about social issues if they were to arise? So Skip believed that I could, and the opportunity presented itself, and I took full advantage of it.
All right, cool.
And was that the straw that broke the camel back?
Good question.
See, if somebody else had said what Skip said, I wouldn't have batted an eye. But we're supposed to be teammates.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. And I think that's what hurt me more than anything. My teammate. That's what he thought.
Oh, dear Lord. See, and that's the first mistake I always said with Shannon Sharpe. Who cares what Skip Bayless said? That's the straw that broke the camel's back, was Skip Bayless saying, "Oh, you jealous of Tom Brady," whatever it was. What? Love you too. Enjoy your day. Who cares what he's talking about? I just can't believe Shannon got that emotional and worked up over it. It lends itself to the roid rage speculation. It feeds into that. I just
He thought of me. It's kind of like when somebody else says something like, nothing gets you more upset than when your boys hit
Or somebody who really, you said 4 names. I can't really, I know one of them was Sterling Sharpe.
Yeah. Like my homeboy, and I know, like, me and my homeboys, we joke a lot, but I know where not to go.
It's to a degree.
Yes, you can joke, but let's not go there. Let's not play in that.
So we on here all day long. We flame each other. I almost flamed Mr. Talk That Talk till he said he was Dominican. And then, well, he came back in the comments and said, "Bro, it's my parents' fault, man." Like, you guys flame us all day long. And is it because we don't know each other? I don't know. Flea curses me out every other week. Yeah, I just met him like a year or two ago. But you can't deny friendship, bond, and confidence. If you have confidence in someone, when do you lose that?
That area.
Right.
And so I was like, and at that point in time, now here's the guy that I had stood up for Skip. When guys come on and try to take shots at Skip, I was there. I stood up. Nah, bro, this is not your show. This is Skip and Shannon. This ain't you. You're not going to take no shots. We're not going to do that, so forth and so on. And in that moment, to think that because I said Tom Brady wasn't playing well, and he wasn't playing well. And I think that's one of the things that most people like about me, because I don't have a problem. If a guy's not playing well, Cam, he's just not playing well.
And it happens.
Yes, and this is not to take away anything what that person has already accomplished. But we're talking about now. We're not talking about, we'll evaluate his career once it's over, but we're talking about in the moment, and he wasn't playing well. So I was just disappointed how it handled. I thought it could have been handled could have been handled better by management, but it was handled the way it was handled. I thank Fox for the opportunity. And the only thing that I get upset about, when I hear people say, Skip gave you, Skip made.
All right, he said that. I just want to get to what Marcellus said, because he broke it down. Remember, Marcellus was there. He was there at Fox News. I hear what you're saying, Gregory Lee. Fabian, you got to understand that's like Flea or AllBall did that to you. If we squad, keep it 100. But this is on here for the world to see. What did he do? What is AllBall going to tell me? I'm not really in the Hall of Fame of podcasting. And so AllBall's going to tell me I'm not in the Hall of Fame of podcasting. Meanwhile, I'm in the Hall of Fame of podcasting, but I'm jealous of somebody else that did bigger numbers or whatever it is. I would flame AllBall if he's sitting across from me and never podcasted before. I would flame him. Are you crazy? You're here because of me. Shannon Sharpe should have went in and flamed him the same way Richard Sherman went in. Richard Sherman flamed Skip Bayless so bad he was never invited back over there. See, because people keep saying, Shannon, what did you want Shannon to do? Reach over across the desk and punch him in the face? No, you don't have to do any of that. This is what I know Shannon Sharpe for. Growing up, Shannon Sharpe was immortalized. Remember, the Denver Broncos went to 2 chips in the 80s with John Elway. They lost both of them. But in the 90s, they came back with Terrell Davis and were monsters. And this is what I know Shannon Sharpe for.
President, we need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots. So call the dogs off. Send the National Guard, please. That need emergency help. Please help these folks. They coming. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. I promise you. The president, I called the National Guard. Okay. He said the National Guard, help is on the way. I promise you. In 10 minutes, help will be here. In 10 minutes. Okay, you come. I'll be understand. He come.
That's what I know Shannon Sharpe for doing. Where was that Shannon Sharpe when Skip Bayless started talking? He preps 16, 20 hours a day to go on a show and just be friendly with Skip Bayless. I couldn't believe it. And even if you got caught up in the moment, got emotional, then Skip told you to put your glasses back on. He might have won that round. Now you know how it was. So going forward, it should have been flame on. It should have been no holds barred. Because then they get into how he realized Fox was on Skip Bayless' side. So he really had no choice but to let things go how they go. Marcellus Wiley breaks down how he remembers Chris Carter and Nick Wright. We'll get into it so much. Put your glasses back on. Chris Carter, who's no longer on Fox, and we don't even know what happened, but it had to be so egregious that he's not even on ESPN. Something happened with us staying away from Chris Carter, right? On all sports networks. So something happened so egregious that him and Nick Wright went through whatever, and then it seemed like Fox took Nick Wright's side and got Chris Carter up out of there. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe is on there thinking the same thing. Well, I saw this happen to Chris. He's very familiar with Chris Carter. Come on, these are 2 Hall of Famers. 2 stud Hall of Famers who were talking trash, and Shannon had already eclipsed Chris Carter. Anything Chris Carter did in the media, it was ×2. I understand the whole thing with Shannon Sharpe. I broke it down all the time. Shannon Sharpe in the media, when he was on CBS, he was okay. He was cool. But then when they announced he was going to go be with, then he disappeared. He caught I think it was a sexual harassment case or whatever it was. Then he got back. He went from CBS to the NFL Network, because something happened at CBS. On the NFL Network, that is where Shannon Sharpe really, really shined, especially for me and a lot of my peers, a lot of my friends. Shannon Sharpe on the NFL Network with Deion Sanders and Marshall Faulk was the most elite football show ever. Nothing was messing with that, ever. They had the guy that was on Fox for a long time, Chris. I forgot Chris's last name. He used to be on the Best Damn Sports Show. It was amazing. They had 21 and go, or whatever it was, that whatever segment Deion Sanders had. Shannon got his name up from there. Then he disappeared again. So when he made his resurgence with Skip Bayless, who begged him to be on Fox, he pushed for him to be on Fox. Then all of a sudden it became this thing where it was like Shannon gets his name up and he feels like, I guess he owes Skip Bayless, and now you can't outshine the master. I'm using that term loosely because you guys are going to take that and flip it and go wherever with it. But at the end of the day, if you have confidence with them, there's no way you're trash talking in the locker room with your buddies. You come from this environment and you were so sensitive to Skip Bayless that you couldn't flame him. I will never understand that, ever. I don't care what anybody says. That is a big L from Shannon Sharpe. And then you have Stephen A. Smith driving that wedge in from the sidelines, talking about, as soon as I seen that, I gave him a call. I gave him a text message. Yeah, you were driving the wedge in there so you could bring him to ESPN. And you gave him another market. You gave him some another option. So now he knew he had a friend somewhere else at ESPN. Shannon's star was on the rise regardless when he was across from Skip Bayless. If you knew your days are numbered at a location, how exactly are you treating your bosses and supervisors? They're walking on eggshells. You're Shannon Sharpe. You could go on YouTube at any given time and really flame them. Right? He's still respectful because he's smart about, not really going crazy with Fox, because Fox is always going to be there as an option for him. So I get that. But Shannon had every right in the world to just go in on Skip Bayless every single day. Bro, you're only sitting across from there because of us. And us meaning Hall of Fame players. Just like in the music industry, you have a billion people who are attempting to be artists, great artists, superstar artists. And you really have only one Beyonce, one Rihanna, one Chris Brown, one this guy. There's only one. There's like 10 of these people that really drive the music market. There's really only like 10 athletes that drive the sports world. The LeBrons of the world is 1 out of a billion. Even though there's hundreds of players in every single sport, hundreds and thousands of players in every sport, including college. Shannon Sharpe was clearly the one that was driving those ratings. I just feel as if to be that sensitive about it will still be insane to me. No, you did not have to be violent. That's crazy. But I expected the old Shannon Sharpe to pick up the red phone and call the National Guard. Somebody go get the National Guard for Skip Bayless. That has always been my problem with that. I'm not saying I lost respect for Shannon Sharpe, but how can he go in on anybody now and them not bring up Skip Bayless? You ain't had that smoke for Skip. We seen when all the marbles on the line, you ain't had that smoke for him. I will never change from that. I'm going to go to the comments because I already seen a couple of them. You guys are trying to get on my nerves. He had all that smoke for the Grizzlies players, but let's Skip violate him on live TV. Exactly. I'm not saying you got to go pump a new dose or whatever and go flex on Skip like that. But there's no way you don't show up with your Hall of Fame rings. You don't show up with a Hall of Fame jacket every day after that. You can still show up with the GOAT James stuff and everything, but put that Hall of Fame jacket on. Because it will always trump Skip Bayless's Hall of Fame media career if he has one. Because I know he has an extensive Hall of Fame, an extensive media career, but nah, man. You're not just a player. Shannon Sharpe is one of these players that destroys the whole theory or the angle of why ESPN and these networks, they never hired the athletes or never wanted to hire them. Shannon, just being himself, gets on there and he argues his point of view. He does his homework, and for me, it kills that side of him. I would have beat Skip though. I'm not gonna lie, or press them off camera. But why? Why? If the gloves are off, your job is to do that verbally. Verbally, not make them uncomfortable, but at some point you gotta look back at that tape and realize you were way too emotional. You were way too invested in a comment that was just trash talk. That's his guy. He's vouching for Tom Brady the same way Tom Brady would talk like that. What if Tom Brady told Shannon Sharpe that? You're just jealous of my career, though, bro. I got 4 more rings. This, that, and the third. What would Shannon have said? It would have been mano y mano. He would have said, yeah, you know what? But you ain't never had a tight end like this. 41. Shannon was just trying to keep it professional and blur the lines and thought they was friends. Now that I think about it, that's Shannon's fault. Just that. It worked out for him. I personally feel him and Stephen A really worked that deal. He's not being honest because it led to him leaving and getting a big bag. It was a way to say, oh, here's the wedge. I cannot work with you anymore. There's nothing you could do about it. And now it forces Fox to go, well, we're going to choose Skip. Okay, no problem. And now you go to ESPN with the rollout. This is back-to-back deals that he has with ESPN because he just re-upped this year for even more money. So I'm just seeing through the BS. I don't believe Shannon Sharpe with this. I don't believe Stephen A. Smith. They did Skip dirty. That's what I feel, because they don't want to be known as the 2 guys that were made by Skip Bayless. They're telling Skip Bayless, you'll do it again if you're that nice. Skip hasn't found the right person yet. I think if he was smart, he would invite Cam and Mace up there. He would mix it up and really get pressed. He needs to get pressed all day long if he was smart to end his career and have fun. He just looks like a corpse up there. If I can't make fun of my friends, are we really friends? And that's my point. That's my point. That's why I'm saying this is so disingenuous. What is it really about? You were trying to get that bag, brother. I ain't mad at you, Shannon, but you ain't fooling me. He was in his element around his kind of guys. Yeah, but still, never outshine the Masters. Yep, 40 laws. Shannon knew he eventually was looking to dip. Plus, he had started his pod too, Club Shay Shay, so he was getting bigger than Skip. And the way that he got Fox, he was able to buy out Club Shay Shay because Fox really owned it, and we didn't know that. I didn't know that. That was major. So he used all that leverage, and he just, in real time, he made it seem like it was one thing when it's another. It was 3-card Monty. That's how I feel about it. You could have won that Skip a certain way, but you were going to use this tension to get leverage and get Club Shay Shay bought out. I think Joe Budden was the one that pointed out he was only able to buy out Club Shay Shay with that new deal on the table. So he knew a big deal was coming up, because how do you just buy? You just got to, let's say it costs $1 million or $2 million to go buy Club Shay Shay outright. I don't know if he has $1 million or $2 million from the Fox money, but you definitely could take a loan out if ESPN is guaranteeing you whatever. Yeah, Shannon was supposed to talk dirty to Skip. Talk dirty is crazy. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.